We made a video like this on LeBron, and you guys really enjoyed it, and now we gotta do it to Stephen A. Smith, because some of these stories are just wild. This isn't about hating on Stephen A. This video is just for your guys' entertainment.
We are live from Seaport, brought to you by Patron. Perfection. It starts with Patron, and we're coming off college hoops, guys. Yeah. So I do want to show you all a little something. I got a little something to show you here. Before we dig into the NBA, take a look at this blind resume here. It's 3 players, their scoring average in each person's final college season. Do we have any guesses who this might be? Jalen, who do you think? What is this?
Nah, this is hilarious. JJ's on the right.
It's our starting lineup from tonight.
Well, they're not telling us I only played 1 game because I cracked my kneecap in half, but that's neither here nor there.
That is neither here nor there.
So Stephen A. Smith averaged 1.5 points per game on 5 for 25 shooting. He made 5 3-pointers, but he only played in 1 game.
Is there a 1.5 pointer?
Well, if you look at the official stat sheet, Stephen A. played in 9 games, and that's how he missed all those shots. And Skip Bayless said this.
Our research uncovered that while playing at Winston Salem-State,
while trying to play,
you shot too many threes. You missed too many threes, which doesn't surprise me at all because now you talk too much and you miss way too many points.
After being called out by Kwame Brown, Stephen A. changed the story and said he never played in college.
I'm sick and tired of people lying about my basketball resume. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say that I wasn't great, I'm talking about compared to greatness. Talk about I averaged 1.5 points a game. I saw some article on social media. That's a lie. It was less. See that? You didn't know I was going to say that, did you? It was less than that. It's a lie. How about 0? Because I never played, because I cracked my kneecap in half. My mama was by my bedside. They said I'd never walk straight again. My bone cracked in half in the knee that still has a 6-inch screw in it that I never took out.
Yeah, I've been there, Stephen A., when I've tried to sell 2 inches at 6 inches. I remember those days. But Stephen A. has one of these in his knee.
So Stephen A. went from playing in a bunch of games, shooting too many threes and not making them, to only playing in 1 game where he cracked his kneecap, to not playing in college at all. But all of that still isn't as crazy as the time Stephen A. made 17 3-pointers in a row to get a full basketball scholarship on the spot. Take a listen.
Now, you're going to have to look me in the eye and tell me this actually happened. Your tryout for the basketball team. Mm-hmm. You hit 17 threes in a row?
17 straight threes.
17 threes in a row in your tryout?
Never before since. Never
this
before
was a
since.
scrimmage?
No.
Okay. This is you just shooting.
No.
Yeah.
What happened was that a guy by the name of Harold Funny Kit used to go to Winston Salem-State University in the 70s after Earl of Pearl Monroe left. And he was still tightly associated with the school and tightly associated with Clarence Big House Gaines, who was the legendary coach down there, helped with John McClendon to integrate the sport of basketball. You know, the Duke players that played against the black players on campus in the middle of the night when no one knew about it, they played a role in being responsible for that game being organized and played. And so what happened is that he told Coach Gaines he had a player for him to see. And Coach Gaines had him bring me down there on a weekend. And I went out on the court, and before I stepped out on the court, Coach Gaines looked at me, and then he looked at him. He said, "Is this the little motherfucker you've been bragging about?" You know, and he said, "That's him." And Funny Kid looked at me afterwards, and he said, "I got you here. You're on your own now. Handle your business." And I went out on a basketball court. And I was passing the ball, just running, rotation offense, stuff like that, running around, passing the ball. I hadn't shot. I was just trying to get warmed up. Coach Gaines halted practice. He looked at me, 6'6", 280 pounds, but he was sleeping. He was sitting on the bleachers. He said, "Come here." He said, "Didn't Funny say that you was a shooter?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, shoot the fucking ball, damn it." And I went out there. And I hit 17 straight.
17 threes?
17 straight 3-pointers. I couldn't miss.
That's incredible.
And when I did that, he signed me to a scholarship on the spot.
That's incredible.
All of this explains why Stephen A's college teammates weren't allowed to speak much when they showed up on First Take.
I really wonder what he was like in college. Let's throw it over to Stephen A. Can you please introduce your longtime friends and teammates?
Well, first of all, you ain't gonna find out too much because each and every one of these boys know better than talking about me publicly like this. What were you trying to say to the people?
I was sworn to secrecy, and I think we got you.
You did get me. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here, his name is Gary Stevens. Suspect.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
You didn't think to tell me either?
Nah, we was on the phone, Sunday for like an hour, right?
That's right. And you didn't tell me a word.
I was sworn to secrecy, as Ma said, man. That was our job. We did a good job, right?
I'll deal with you later.
Yeah.
And we later find out that some of those guys weren't even on the team at all.
The last guy that they showed him talking to, Gary Stevens, there's no proof. There's no history that he ever existed really at Winston-Salem State. I found one article from back in, I think, 89 or 90 that listed Gary Stevens as a new player, a 6'2" guard. And then Gary Stevens' name never appears anywhere else on a stat sheet, in a yearbook. We called the registrar, couldn't find a Gary Stevens even registered at Winston-Salem State at any point. But that guy, Gary Stevens, runs around the country and runs around social media. He and Stephen A. Smith were teammates at Winston-Salem State.
That was our job. We did a good job, right?
So there you have it. And honestly, none of this really surprised me about Stephen A. With how big his personality is, I would never expect him to just admit that he wasn't very good in college. And I'm not saying that he faked his scholarship or his knee injury. He might have actually got a scholarship. It just didn't happen from making 17 three-pointers in a row. But that's all I have for this video. As always, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Do you think Stephen A. is telling the truth here, or do you think he's exaggerating on these just a little bit? And don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more content just like this, and I will see you in the next upload.